I just thought I'd share with you a few gardening ideas, and particularly the way that we ended up setting out this garden with planters. These planters look very good in the sunshine especially, and the setup here we have is from one level up to another via some steps, but I think you'll agree that it's quite a pleasing look. And what we decided to do here was, well, number one was to build these planters and render them with a white rendering material, and as I say, they look really good, especially in the sunshine. And then the next thing was to decide what to put in these planters, because you know this can be quite the thing to decide what to put in. And anyway, we decided to put in box cones. They were a little bit smaller than this when we started off, and then put in these ferns, and then interspersed with alliums. So what you end up with really is an evergreen bed, pretty much, with just these alliums coming out once a year. But then they're a sort of architectural plant where they flower with these absolutely wonderful flower heads, and then they develop into a round, as I'm sure you know, a round pod head, if you like, on these long stalks, which look absolutely fabulous. And so, you know, they'll last 3-4 months. In fact, they'll probably last all the way through the summer. Incidentally, we've got a this Acer gives a bit of a Japanese look to the whole setup, and luckily we have this firethorn hedge, pyracanthus, which has got this lovely white flowers on, and so this time of year I make sure I don't cut the hedge too far back, although I keep it neat and, you know, sort of cut all year round. So yeah, here are these ferns, which, I mean, they look absolutely fantastic. They're so vibrant, they're so full of life, they're verdant green, if that's the right expression. And I make sure that I put this bark down, which I've just freshly topped this up actually, and that helps keep the bed, well, moisture in the bed. And then this year I decided to cut these, when was this, a couple of weeks ago, and keep these trimmed to try and just encourage some growth to come through where it's a little bit patchy. So I think that's going to work out well. So here we have sort of, I think we've got 3 different types of fern. I don't know what their names are, but this is a sort of thing, if you ask me, that you would find in a wood, to be honest. I think this is a little bit more, I'm not sure that I've seen that growing in the wild, but either way, this is a very interesting fern. You can see the shape of its leaves are different, and the way that these ferns unfurl, it's so sweet. They, if we can just see down here, they look like little octopus tentacles. I mean, they really do, don't they? And they unfurl into this wonderful shape. So, and I'm just feeling they're so strong and doing so well. So this is just a little idea that I'm sharing with you on planter beds, if you like. And this has worked out very well for us. These alliums always look, I suppose, a little bit tatty like this. They grow up quite strong, and then before long the ends start to go, but that's okay, you can manage it and tuck them in. There's a little copper beech tree growing up here, a little sapling, and that has come from this lovely copper beech that grows in our neighbour's garden there. And doesn't it look absolutely fabulous against the blue sky, the copper against the blue? So yeah, we got one type of fern, another type of fern, and there is a third type of fern, and that's this one here. I'll just go across to the other bed because there's an example there of it growing up a little bit better. So walking down this lovely pyracanthus hedge, here you can see like the third type of fern, which is this one here. And that's a lovely little delicate thing, but it's quite, should we say, yeah, very delicate, and if you don't water it and it's out in the sun too much, it can dry up. So what I've noticed with this, particularly this one here, is that second type of fern that I was talking about with these little octopus tentacles. So sweet. And look at these different types of fern all growing together. So we have that one, then we have this one, and then we have that one, all growing together. And here's this one, just beginning to sprout out now. I've made sure that I've watered it quite a lot, and I can see now this year that that's really essential to keep these watered. And then this other variety just beginning to now come out in little shoots here and there. So what I've discovered is, especially with this bed, is because it gets a lot of sunshine, direct sunshine, I have to make sure that I keep up with the watering, and actually the ferns can take this sunshine. As you can see, they're not all crisp and brown and we've had quite a bit of hot sun just lately. These ones here, slightly different deal because they get a little bit of shade in the afternoon, but and here's the hawthorn tree. There's the blossoms just sort of coming to an end. So yeah, this is just sharing an idea of how the planting for us has worked in these planters. I'll do a video of how we built these planters, because it's quite the construction project. It doesn't look too much maybe from an observer's point of view, but anyone who knows about building and construction will know there's a lot goes into these planters, and I would say that it's well worthwhile. And so yeah, there we are. That's just to share a planting idea that we found to be really successful, and I'm sure you'll agree, doesn't it look so good with these vibrant colours contrasting with this lovely purple. Here's a little, my daughter's Christmas cactus, which we've been nurturing back to life over the years. It actually likes the sunshine, and here's the little cutting we took, which we're trying to just get out in the sun and encourage it on a little bit. So yeah, hopefully you'll agree that this idea is quite pleasing to the eye. Takes a little bit of work to keep on top of, but well worth it in the end.